October 1970. It was still dark when I got up. I squinted and tried hard to see the time by the watch, kept on the table at the side of my bed. Despite many strenuous efforts, I couldn't see clearly, so I decided to get up without making any noise, as I didn't want to disturb my wife, who was sleeping peacefully by my side. I slowly grabbed my slippers and crept through the room towards the washroom. After answering the nature's call, I sprinkled some water onto my face and quickly got into my tracksuit. The weather outside was gloomy and cold. I grabbed my wind cheater and zipped it to the top. I used a monkey cap to cover my head and ears. On other days, I wouldn't wear gloves, but today was different. It was freezing outside, so I decided to grab a pair of gloves from the cupboard. When I was fully covered from head to toe, I stepped out. Jogging 5 kilometers from my home, which was in Jaku, to 5 benches, a famous spot in Shimla, had become a daily ritual. It was still dark, and there were no streetlights on the entire stretch. The road was surrounded on both sides by huge deodar trees, making the stretch darker and spooky, so I decided to walk steadily until there was some light to see the road properly. Soon I reached the point where the road diverged in 2 different directions, one going towards 5 benches and the other sliding down towards Mall Road. I was about to take a turn when I saw a silhouette moving towards me from the road connecting to the mall. Though it was usual to see someone on this stretch at this time of morning, but still I got goosebumps. There was something creepy about the person. I squinted to see more clearly and saw a lady walking towards me. Her appearance was grisly. Her hair reached down to her knees. She had a lean structure, and I could not see her face as she was walking with her head down. It seemed as if she was naked. I felt as if she was whispering something while moving slowly towards me. At first, I thought of her as some mad woman, but as the distance between us started reducing, her whispers turned into eerie, rasping voice. A chill ran down my spine when she came a little closer, and I saw her distorted face as if it was burnt. I got numb. For a few seconds, I was unable to move. Then I realized that with every step, she was getting closer to me. I did not believe in ghosts or spirits, but this was something extraordinary and unearthly. My heart started thumping louder and louder, so much so that I could hear my own heartbeat. It didn't take much time for me to realize that it was sweat running down my temples in this freezing weather. All I wanted was to run. I congregated all my energy and took a step backwards. And with that, her speed increased as if she was going to pounce on me. I realized that I was trapped and had nowhere to go. It was hardly a distance of few steps now between both of us. I had to do something, but I was unable to move. All my energy was drained out. The terror I was facing gave me a jolt, and I don't know from where I got the strength, the little I was left with. But I started to recite Hanuman Chalisa. I was flabbergasted to see her slow down but still moving in my direction. I raised my voice while reciting the Chalisa. It was hardly a distance of 10 steps left between both of us when she snorted loudly and turned to the other direction agitatedly. The sound she made was wild and squeaky. I was horrified but kept reciting the Chalisa loudly. As she was moving out of my sight, I mustered some courage and ran like a sprinter. I halted only when I reached 5 benches, where a police van was parked. I saw 2 policemen sitting inside the van. They got vigilant when they saw me running towards them. As I was about to fall in front of their van, they grabbed me and made me sit on one of the benches. I was still panting when they started questioning my weird behavior. Once my breath normalized, I told them the entire incident. "You are very lucky," consoled one of the policemen. "We have heard about many mishaps on this road, people getting unconscious, falling in the trench, or many getting insane. This road has with it a spooky history. A girl burnt herself on this road few years back." The other policeman added, "You should have not come here at this hour." I was surprised and asked, "What time is it?" "It's 2:30 a.m., my dear friend." "What were you thinking?" said one of the policemen. It was then that I realized I had got up too early for my morning walk, which explained everything. I took refuge in their van for a few hours and came back home when the sun was out. It was 7 a.m. when I returned home in one piece. It was a Sunday, so my wife was still snoring. I didn't bother her and made myself a cup of coffee to come out of the shock. Even today, after 2 decades, when I think of that night, it sends chills down my spine. On a night, one young man was walking on the desolate road to goes to another village. Hearing a shout from behind, his feet stop. "My child, listen. Just go ahead carefully." When the young man turning, he saw an old man. In confusion, young man asked, "But why?" The old man replied, "You don't know. Years ago on this road, some youths murdered one trade passer named Jivan Lal." Hearing this, the young man asked in surprise, "Killed a trade passer? But why?" The old man said, "For robbery. They buried his dead body under that tree. The leaves of the tree shake from the breeze." On hearing the old man, the young man thankfully said, "Oh, thank you for alerting me to the robbers." The old man said, "Not from the robbers." The young man asked with surprise, "So?" The leaves shake up again. The old man said very slowly, "From the soul of Jivan Lal." The young man shouted, "What's rubbish?" The old man explained to the young man, "Yes, Jivan Lal's soul is stopped youngster passing through this road," and then told his incident to that youngster. The leaves are shaking. The young man thought something and then asked, "No one talks about this in the village." The old man said, "Hey, they don't know anything about this. So why are they talking about this?" The young man hesitantly asked, "So?" The old man said, "After talking about his incident, Jivan Lal's soul kills the trade passer and then buried his dead body under that tree." The leaves shake up again. "But why?" asked the young man. The old man said with little anger, "Because he assumes every young man as his murderer." "Just a few seconds," the young man asks with great surprise. "Wait a minute. Then how do you know about all this?" Seeing a bitter smile on the old man's face, now the young man's legs were shaking up. Once I went for a campfire with my friends. My friends and I were so excited. When we all three reached the campfire point, it was too dark. We cooked horror stories, sang songs, and soon went to sleep. After some time, I woke up because of a sound like an animal is eating something. I was scared and started shivering. There, I decided to call my friends. One of them said, "Why are you so scared?" "Oh, you are sweating." I replied, "I hear a sound like someone is eating something." Another said, "Don't worry, we will go and check what is happening." They both went to check what happened, but they didn't come back. Now my level of scaredness was raised. Then I came out of the tent. I started walking in search of my friends in the surrounding areas. After a while, I saw a horrifying scene and I was frozen. The heads of my friends were chopped off and hung on the branch of a tree. And then a small animal came out, which I assumed would be a furry, cute animal. But I was wrong. He was slowly appearing to be big and become a very horrible monster. I ran to my car and escaped so that I was safe. But then the same monster jumped over my car's front glass, and this incident is frozen in my mind.